Hi there, hope you're doing well. Martin, founder of Paradigm Shift here. We're going to go through a quick tour of our Law on Demand course. So on the left-hand side, like all of our courses, we have the learning path, which is basically the different sections of the course, which you can open and close as required when you're working on an individual element. I'll come back to exactly what's within each of these chapters, but you can see we organise it clearly to follow the ICAW content. So we have a few introductory sections here that go through sustainability, technology, syllabus updates, that kind of thing. And then we have a very useful resource, the condensed workbook, where we've gone through the full ICAW workbook. And let's bring up, sorry, that was click the wrong thing, bring up the PDF here. That was just an explanation of how to use it. But as you can see, it's all in bullet point format, lots of nice space, so easy to read format. And all indexed back to the original ICAW content if you want to check anything. But this is all the most important content, basically. So that's a PDF that you can download, you can print if you need to. And then we do loads of questions. Let's just pick that set there, where we really test that condensed version of the workbook through our own original questions that we've created. Absolutely loads of these, because we think that's the best way to learn this content. There's lots of it for law. It's a long, dense workbook. There's no calculations to do, and some people struggle because there's just so much. You can't really learn it just by reading and making notes. I'll come back to a couple of resources. Forgot to mention about the Discuss tab. So there's nothing here because we haven't launched the course yet when I'm doing this recording. But here you can ask questions. The tutor team will reply. You can email us as well if you want. But asking the question here, quite useful, because we can reply and then other students can benefit from that as well. So a couple of things here before we look at the main chapters. Would flag these. These are unique to the law module, special resources that we've created basically. So one of them is called the Case Law Summary PDF, which I'll just bring up. And we basically, chapter 1, there's no cases, but chapter 2 is where it starts. We've gone through, listed out all of the cases with the facts and the decision. And you can then print this off, and you can take a bit of time. You don't have to print it, but yeah, you can take a bit of time just working on your cases only, because we've stripped them all out. I think that's useful because we know that some of this will be tested. Remember, for the exam, you don't need to memorize the name of the case. We've just put that in so that you can reference it back to the ICAW materials if you want more detail. But we've given our summary of the facts and the decision there. So that's how it works. And then we've got some quickfire questions just on that content. So just going through the case law stuff, just picked a random chapter there. Yeah, so again, following through what we said, you've really got to be actively testing yourself. Learning content that way is best. Then we've made another special PDF just for this module, so we don't do this for the others. This is called List of Numbers, Dates and Time Frames. Gone into every chapter, found the relevant section, then anything that is number of days or an amount of money, number of directors, that is super examinable because it's really easy as an examiner to create a multiple choice question with a clear correct answer. And that's one worry when you're an examiner. You don't want to accidentally create a question that has more than one correct answer. It's not very fair, but it can happen. But when they test this content, it's clear cut as to what the right answer is. So that's why we think this is really important to revise. We can see a lot of questions coming from these areas basically. So we wanted to give you a document you can again print out or download and take some study time just to look at this super examinable content. And then we've got, as usual, questions, again in a quick fire format, which will test all of these. That will be really helpful for your revision. Then the rest of the course is organised by chapter. Turbo revision videos. We go into each topic in the chapter. We spend about a minute quickly going through the most important content for you. You do need to read the full chapter as well if you can, but that's really just to emphasise the most important points. Then we have the quick fire questions. Quick fires are like the online ones here. And we also have short form questions, which look a little bit different. These are PDFs that you can download, you can print if you wish. These don't have any of the right answers in there to pick from. Obviously, it's got the right answers coming up, I didn't mean that. I just meant you really have to think with these. You don't get any hints or reminders. So we think it's a really good way of actively testing yourself. So we give you the style of question that you see in the exam, which is more, pick one of these options. Then we also give you the deeper questions, probably push you a bit beyond exam standard, but then hopefully you'll feel confident in the exam. You know your stuff inside out. This is chapter 1, set 1. So we do about 25 questions and the answers to those. Then we do another set of 25. So we do lots and lots of questions on each chapter. That's really a theme from this video that you'll probably have picked up, I think, by now, is just how important it is to be doing questions and actively working with this content. A lot of people say it's quite dry and not that exciting. There's no calculations to do. Why am I learning all this as an accountant? What's going on? I didn't sign up to all of this stuff, but you've got to do it. It's important. And so overall, we provide, a lot more questions than in the ICAW materials. And that's useful. We often work with students who've failed the exam with another provider and they don't really know what to do. They've gone through the question bank, they've exhausted it, and they're just doing the same questions. That's not helpful. So you won't be short of questions on our course. That's definitely true. So I hope that was useful and explained some of the unique things we've done in section 7 and 8 there, just for law, and then also the general approach that we use, similar to other modules. If you have any questions, just let us know, whether it's on this resource or anything else we do. But otherwise, I hope that was useful and you now understand how the course works.